She's always good. You always makes you feel like she's your friend almost. You know, when you get a chance to chalk with her. And of course, John Newley has had a lot of success here. 4 NCAA tournament appearances, hoping to make it a 5th with his Idaho Vandals here in 2018-19. As the Eagles control the tip here, Clayman with the ball. It's tipped and taken away by the. Here they come the other way. That's Lizzie Klinker there in the 3, put up by Taylor Pierce. And just like that, first look at one of the Splash sisters, Craig.
And that's exactly what Idaho wants to do, turn defense into offense, and quickly at that. And that was a transition 3, but yeah, Taylor Pierce setting at the point, just looking at it dead-eye.
Alec Capri-Morrow now trying to get some dribble penetration. Shot clock down to 10. Hersher with the ball. And it's put up. Sure, no good. Gets her own rebound and puts it up and in. So the second chance there to get the Eags on the board.
Yeah, she saw the shot clock running down, so she came up with a great move to get it. And when you miss shots like that, you know exactly where it's going. She followed it up.
There's Gina Markson. And Ferenz now with the runner gets it to go. You know, we talked about what they can do, but Ferenz are also showing that they can put the ball on the ground and go to work.
Yeah, they're prolific, both of them from the three-point range, high percentage shots, but when you can do that offensively, put your head down, drive, now you got the defense thinking about it, and that's always a good sign going to the rim.
Capri-Morrow now trying to get going. Kersher goes right inside, kicked out to Capri-Morrow for 3, and she drains it.
This good, solid, deliberate basketball, that 3-man weave out around the top, taking the shot clock down, obviously, going inside and then outside, and Merle making them pay.
Ferenz now with the drive. Beautiful find down low, and the bucket is made by Natalie Klinker.
Well, Ferenz is a lot of defense. That time you saw it, she went baseline. Everybody turned their head on the defense and went right to her, and she found a wide-open post player.
Vandals lead this one 7-5 early here in the first. Capri-Morrow looking for anybody, and they're going to call 3 seconds in the key, and the ball will go over to Idaho.
Well, the Eagles, they got a really good offense going. They just kind of go around the perimeter and hope to find that crack in the defense, and the down there is just flashing in the lane and got caught in the lane too long that time.
Lizzie Klinker being guarded closely. Taylor Pierce pulls it from 3. She likes it. She's tried 2 here in the early going.
That was all her, created all by her own lonesome self, and just shot it from the hip and just nothing but net.
Well, how dangerous is she? Any sort of airspace, and she is going to pull the trigger. She's done so here early on. Kersher now will drive. Looks to kick it out to Capri-Morrow. Dumps it down. Nice find for the post player, Leah DePriest.
Well, just like the Vandals have 2 players that you got to really concentrate on defense, that time Merle drives baseline and drops it right to the post when the defense turned their heads.
A strong take there by Lizzie Klinker, and she is fouled. I believe we'll go to the line to shoot 2. And the foul will go against Alyssa Sealby for her first personal.
Get to do a lot of girls games, but I am so thrilled that they went to the 10-minute quarters. I really believe that everybody should. I think college men's basketball is the only teams don't have the quarter system in play.
And she splits the pair. To me, it feels like there's more flow to the game and stop.
Yep.
With all the under 16 timeouts, the under 12, and it's a 4-point game here. With 6.5 to go in the first. Priest at the top of the key. Clayman uses the screen, goes right inside to the Capri-Morrow, and Capri-Morrow going window there.
Great pass by Clayman, but how about Merle coming from the wing and then just turning her shoulder, dropping her rear, and getting great post position deep in the lane.
Pierce in the paint. Capri Morrow rips it away as the Eagles steal. Clayman pushing it ahead. Kicks it out. Kersher now tries to drive. DePriest. Capri Morrow in a little bit of trouble. Kicks it out to DePriest. Range. Rebound by Klinker. Ferenz quickly. And like all good scorers do, forcing the issue to go to the line.
Really good job filling the lane. The rebound off the missed shot, obviously the quick outlet and running the lane. And when you run the lanes wide like that, you got great opportunities at the rim, and that's exactly what Michaela did.
And she knocks down the first free throw. Ferenz, a 92.5% free throw shooter.
I never figured that out. Of all women or girls, even in my high school years, always shot better free throws than men. And they just take their time and settle down and have a rhythm and a routine.
You got a peek of that graphic there. Ferenz, the 5th all-time leading scorer in the Big Sky. The violation will go against Eastern and go over to there is Amira Chandler getting her first minutes here.
Yeah, well, the Eagles, you know, every possession is valuable. You can't have turnover.
For the Vandals right back, a nice find from Markson. He's looking for Lizzie Klinker. Vandals able to save it and get a fresh shot clock there. Klinker, a little out of control. Take over possession. Here comes Capri Morrow. Her shot is blocked. Great deal for Ferenz. Markson ahead to Lizzie Klinker. Pierce drives baseline, and it's blocked. That was by Howard. So back and forth we go with the action.
Yeah, you would think the Eagles want to slow down a little bit and get under control. But, yeah, the last couple of possessions have been defense causing turnovers.
Chandler now goes to the post move. And a rebound by Natalie Klinker.
Yeah, the Eagles offense gives them a lot of room for the post to work.
Pierce left's too strong. Lizzie Klinker can't put it up. And with that, we will take our first timeout of the game. The action is back and forth here at Cowan and the Vandals.
But, you know, got too sore. Wife said no more. That's it. So
cut off.
That's, yep. Good advice, Femi, when you get married. Listen to the wife. Happy wife, happy life.
Number 2. And a nice job there done by Klinker, able to clean up the mess. As Idaho extends that lead to 6. Eastern started off strong offensively, getting baskets, but have kind of slowed down here. What have you seen from the Eagles here of late?
Well, I thought they got a little bit in that up and down game and trying to go with the Vandals, but now they're more deliberate on the offensive end and got a good look.
Unable to connect there from about 15 feet. Now here comes Markson. Great vision to find Pierce. She used the dribble sidestep, misses. So after making both back-to-back threes to start things off, she's now missed 2 straight. And I'm sure Wendy Schuler's in her face there. Can't give her that kind of room.
Well, having been in the coach's shoes also, when you run by a three-point shooter on the shot fake, then you're just telling yourself, that's bad, don't do that, because all you want to do is contest and stay in front of them and make it a tough shot.
The foul call is, they're going to call that one on Natalie Klinker. So it'll be 2 free throws for Uriah Howard. Howard off the bench. Typically provides a spark for the Eagles. Averages just under 7 points per game and about 4.5 rebounds.
And that's an important position coming off the bench. Just like you said, giving them that's what a coach wants from the bench players is to come in and change the course of the game in some way, either tempo or, you know, causing turnovers.
Howard misses, but nicely by Andy Easley, who comes in and immediately hits a jumper there off the rebound. Eastern going to a little bit of a trap here. Almost get Klinker to travel there. Ferenz almost has it poked away, and it's knocked out of bounds. I believe it'll go over to Idaho, and it will, just out there at the scores table. So Eastern kind of switching up there, catching the Vandals off guard a little bit.
Yeah, and it was after a made basket, so you had time to set up that 1-2 press, and Idaho wasn't ready for that or prepared for it. They hadn't seen it in this whole first quarter.
Herscher almost came up with a steal. Shot clock down to 6. Pierce sidesteps, pulls up for 3. Natalie Klinker with the board, blocked by Kirscher, but a foul.
She is doing the work down there on all these missed shots and getting the Vandals extra shots with her offensive rebounding, and it's paying off for her.
Klinker, her sister Lizzie, also on the team. The front end.
I had 1 girl, 2 boys, so I don't know the 2-girl thing, but I think that you'd want to get away from your sister, but now you're at college with her, so, but I'm sure it's one big happy family.
Capri Morrow now will drive through the lane. That's too easy for a scorer like Capri Morrow. She'll try to go the 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
And that's exactly what this kind of offense does for you when you kind of just get the defense to go asleep out on the perimeter, doing that 3-man weave or coming some cross screens and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you look up, you got a player that can go to the rim. She saw that opening and went right to it.
Isabel Haddon checks into the game for Idaho. And Capri Morrow successful. Completes the 3-point play, so we're tied at 15 here, approaching 2 minutes in the first. Haddon from the baseline, missed. And a spill there toward the corner. It's going to stay down on this end with the Vandals.
And if you're Coach Schuler, you look up at the clock, 2 minutes left in the first quarter. You got a team that's picked to win the Big Sky by the 2-0. The Eagles, boy, they're playing their tails off right now.
And right on cue, Taylor Pierce with her 3rd triple of the game.
Well, you all know the person that throws the ball in because they're usually going to get it back in that time. Taylor Pierce threw it in, got a little screen from the out of bounds, and went right out to the 3-point line.
Easily was fouled going up. We'll see if they say she was in the act of shooting. As you get a look at it, just like you said, the inbounder is the most dangerous person.
Yep, no one was guarding her, and she threw it in up at the top and then went right straight to the corner and got a great pass in shooting rhythm and just nailed the 3.
And Capri Morrow will inbound from the baseline. Kirscher at the top of the key, and a foul is going to be called, I believe, on Capri Morrow. Product out of Tacoma, Washington. Averages about 17 points per game and 5 rebounds.
And that time she was the inbound player on the baseline, and boy, she went right to the post.
Thrown away there and recovered by Eastern. Easily out of control there and too many steps.
Right ideal, just not an end product. I thought was going very hard to the basket, but then kind of just defense gets in front of her, cuts her off, and then she was in a place where she wasn't comfortable.
Haley Christopher with the baseline jumper. Spokane product out of Central Valley High School. Called a lot of her games over the past couple years there with that national champion Bears team from a year ago. And a foul immediately called on Juliet Jones.
I just heard, oh, come on, from behind us. But, yeah, watch this. You get a little dribble penetration, draw the defense, kick it off to a shooter, and that was right in rhythm. But, I mean, they're trying to clean up the game to make it a little more fast, so no touching above the free throw line. And it's going to happen because there's contact out there.
And a nice block there by Haddon. And easily takes it away. And she'll dish it off to Kirscher. Can't get the 8-footer to go. And the Idaho Vandals have numbers. Ferenz to Pierce. The layup is good.
That was a 2-on-1. Pierce ahead of her. I thought Michaela should have probably gave it up a little sooner, but she kept it in her hands and got the defense to come to her and then dropped it off to Pierce.
Vandals lead it by 7. Easily goes right to the hoop, and a chance where you had the last shot. She took advantage. As Ferenz now will get a look, but easily takes it away. So back-to-back great plays by Andy Easley. Auto Repair, proud to support local sports on SWX. Well, we begin the second quarter, 22-17, Idaho with the lead. Eastern had a lull there for a second, but they were able to hang in this one as Ferenz immediately with a 3 as Idaho extends that lead to 8.
Yeah, again, a little bit of the penetration has the defense turn their heads, and you don't want to turn your head on number 21 because she will make you pay if you lose sight of her.
Capri Morrow, I believe, took too many steps there, and they're going to get her for a travel. Yeah, you talk about 21 and 14 for the ladies in white, and Pierce with 11 points, and Ferenz. Just a tough outfit for any opponent. Christopher now on the baseline, kicks it out to Markson, and she's short on the 3-point attempt.
I do like what the Eagles are doing defensively, though. They're staying in that little zone press that just handles up enough for them to actually get back. In just that last couple of possessions, they lost sight of number 14 and 21, and those are the two that you can't lose sight of.
Easily tees it up from the wing. That's no good. And it'll go out of bounds.
And that's one of those shots where Coach Schuler's not a good shot. We could have probably gotten something better. You can probably take that all night because they're going to drop off of you.
Isabel Haddon knocks down the baseline jumper from the far side. And it's a double-digit lead for the Vandals.
Yeah, the Eagles got to be a little more deliberate on the offense and make sure that they get good or get the ball into Violet's hands, who you know you're going to get something good from because of her offensive skills. But, yeah, I think they just got to keep executing and making extra passes, swinging the ball side to the other, and make the Vandals play defense for a longer period of time.
And Easley with the tough bucket and the foul. So she has come in and, like we talk about, providing sparks. She has done just that here for the Eagles in this ball game.
Yeah, and you can do it two ways. Like Howard comes in defensively, and even though she can't, pull, sometimes if you can distract or come off the bench, that's the way to work. Or come in and make baskets like she has done.
Markson now will drive. Christopher baseline. Markson for 3. Missed. Christopher tracks it down, though. And they're going to call a foul. And that's going to be called against Leah DePriest.
And I like what Markson did. Short-term memory. She just missed a 3 at the top. Missed it pretty badly. Drew a little bit of rim. But didn't hesitate taking that shot, because when you start thinking about your shots, then you get your mind all messed up and you forget what you can do. But, yeah, I think she's got the ability to make 3 front of the ball handler. And that time, if you do that, you reach in, you get called for the foul every time.
And Christopher on that Central Valley team that won 100 games, 4 years, 2 state championships. And the national championship, of course, just a year ago, not even a year ago.
Yes, 2018.
2018 it was.
Yep.
Teammates, Lexi and Lacey Hull, playing their collegiate basketball over at Stanford.
Who Idaho actually played earlier in the year. Didn't come out on the good side of it, but got that play the number 7 team in the country.
Yeah, Stanford's pretty good. Isabel Haddon knocks down another baseline jumper.
And that's what I think coaches want to do for the college experience. get that opportunity to play where you never got the chance to play before. So they'll play the Stanfords, the Notre Dames, the big names.
Capri Morrow getting on the ground. Couldn't connect with Uriah Howard, so the Vandals retake possession. Haddon, that's her sweet spot, and she connects once again. She likes that baseline there, Craig.
She's camped out over there a few times and has made a couple of shots. That time it was a little further out than the previous one.
Capri Morrow from the top of the key. Short iron. Solid rebound by Haddon. Here comes Ferenz. Almost loses the dribble, and the charge is drawn by Violet Capri Morrow.
And that's why in practice you work on that jump stop right here. She could have just maybe gathered herself a little bit better and made the pass out, but Morrow doing a good job on the defensive end and getting those feet set and in front of her.
I think they're discussing whether it's a charge or a block. I don't know, from our angle, it at least looked like it was a charge, but we'll see what the ultimate call is. The officials will take a look, and they're going to call it a blocking foul on Violet Capri Morrow.
And that little bit of line you see underneath there, the half moon, is what they're probably discussing that. If it was a charge, Morrow had to be outside of that, no feet in that little half moon circle. And if it's a block, we'll see where her feet are.
Yeah, we'll see and get another look at this one. And it looks like she is outside the restricted area. I'm not saying maybe they think that she might have moved a little bit or still moving. Or
I think that's what Coach Schuler is definitely wanting to know, the explanation.
You get a look at, and they're going to stick with the call of a block, and Coach Schuler beside herself. She can't believe it. Yeah, she's letting the official have it a little bit there, as Violet Capri Morrow can do nothing but smile.
And I totally agree with Coach Schuler, and I think she has the right to argue this call, because it did look like Violet's feet were set, and they're still talking while the game's going on. She's getting her 2 bits in for sure.
She's going to make sure she gets her money's worth.
Yep.
Now Markson will reset here for Idaho. First minutes of the game for Janie King. And Ferenz pulls up from 3, too strong. Howard on the rebound.
That was a big defensive stop for the Eagles, because this game was definitely in a little bit of a danger zone for the Eagles, and they came up with a big defensive stop.
Yeah, the Vandals lead this one by 12. Capri Morrow misses the wing. And Idaho will push it forward. Markson now with the drive, layup, no good. And I believe the foul will be called on Capri Morrow.
Boy, she's getting no luck down there from the officials of taking those charges. Those will pay for you when you get ran over like that a lot. But yeah, she has to be very careful for him to not get into foul trouble, because this young lady can put the ball in the basket for the Eagles.
Yeah, already 3 personal fouls, so we'll see how much Coach Schuler trusts her to stay in. I believe they're going to give her some rest time, and probably the smart. Still definitely a lot of ball game left to be played.
Yep, and you know, as a player, you never want to come out of the game, and that's a good thing. But you know, that's why the coach is there. She can figure out the rest that you need to help later on in the game, where you might need that star player.
This thing is ballooned to a 14-point Idaho lead. Now the Eagles will have to do it without their leading scorer in Capri Morrow for a good chunk of the rest of this first half. Shot clock down to 8. Andy Easley now tries to find Chandler. Ball poked away. And it's a shot clock violation, I believe is what they're going to call her. They're going to say that maybe Idaho had regained possession.
Yeah, I believe that's what the call is.
Coach Newley wants a shot clock violation. He's arguing that his team never had possession.
It didn't look like it from our point of view, but it was kind of a frenzy kind of a pace down there.
And we'll have another conference from our officiating crew. As a big call here. It's either going to be an Eastern basket or it'll be Idaho basketball and a shot clock violation. They're going to talk things over, I believe, with both coaches. And they go to the monitor once again. So our monitor's getting a little action here, you know, early on in this ball game.
We're going to see right.
Get a look at, see if anybody from Idaho had true possession of this basketball. I'm not sure you can say they had possession there. It was still moving around before
Natalie
that bucket there by Sealby.
Definitely got on the floor after the basketball. Klinker was down there, but it's kind of like that football call. Was he juggling it or not?
Yeah.
But it didn't look like she had true possession.
Did they complete the process?
Yeah. Take a couple of steps, which aren't allowed in basketball.
Yeah, that's hard to say if she had possession there. And I think they're going to say no basket and a shot clock violation, I believe is what they'll call. That's probably the right call there by this crew. So job well done going to the monitors, making sure they get it right. That's what the technology is there for now, Craig. You know, you got to get the, might as well get some usage out of it.
But if you're Coach Schuler or an Eagle fan, wait a minute.
Where was that technology 5 minutes ago?
Her feet were planted. What are you talking about? So it's 2 calls going the wrong way for the Eagles right now.
And Klinker misses the bucket. And we'll go over to Idaho. And with that, we will catch our breath. 4:59 to go here in the second quarter. The Idaho Vandals lead the
for you. And yeah, Idaho came out started the second quarter on an 11-2 run. And basketball is a game of runs. And all you want to do is not fall too far behind. And with your best scorer on the bench with 3 fouls, the Eagles are finding it tough to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, the Eagles 1 for 6 so far here in the second quarter from the field. And then make it 7. They're shooting below 20%. And that's not going to get it done against a high-powered offense as the 3 is put up and made. Danny King. So as Eastern continues to struggle, the Vandals find the bottom of the net.
Yeah, not good for the Eagles. They got to do a lot better job defensively, obviously, but on the offensive end, patience and confidence. And their confidence is down right now due to the poor shooting.
Mercer now driving, and it's an offensive foul, so the seams are coming undone here for Eastern Washington.
Yeah, anytime you're down, Finn, you're always going to push your time. Yep, the arm came up, and, you know, defensively, she wasn't in great position, but there's another one you don't want to leave open.
Here's a nice feed from Ferenz. Get another rebound for Klinker. Kicks it out to Ferenz. No, easily gathers it. Here comes Klayman now. Tries to go connect. Ferenz. Oh, fakes the layup and gets the layup to go. Michaela Ferenz there, the playmaker. 4 assists, so showing that she's not just a scorer, she also can fill up the stat sheet, rebounding, facilitating, a complete player here for this Vandal team.
Yeah, you said it, just a complete box score. I mean, you want to fill that all up across the board, and she's definitely doing that right now.
Yeah, true stat sheet stuffer. Howard is fouled and will now go to the line. They'll call that one against Natalie Klinker.
You're still in the Christmas mood, I take it, with stat stuffer.
Stocking stuffers and stat sheet stuffers. And, you know, I'm all for those who provide many. As Uriah Howard on the first free throw here in If you're Eastern Washington, is the goal maybe to try to cut this to 10 at the half? Or
yeah, that's the coach's way of working those situations. Is you always have a goal in mind to just get it down. When you're double digits, you want to just cut it slowly, and that's exactly what the Eagles want to do. But that time, opportunity knocking at the door, a turnover by the Eagles defense, but then they turn it right back over.
Markson looking for somebody. Ferenz now goes baseline, kicks it out to King. And Markson now will go inside. Nice feed to Klinker, but she can't handle it.
I like Klinker's activity down there. I tell you what, she has offensive rebounding for him, but she moves very well without the basketball. And Markson just with that nice little drop pass, bounce pass into her. Klinker not able to finish, though.
A nice feed from Easley there. Cravens can't finish. Back comes Pierce. Klinker tried to go to Ferenz back door there. Wisely doesn't go to it. Pierce misses. Klinker, though, with another offensive rebound. Ferenz stopped from pulling it from about 30. Settles for 25, and it's in and out. Well, you see just the range there as they threaten from in the gym.
Oh, just, yeah, coming into the parking lot is what the Splash Brothers do. So definitely with Pierce and friends there.
And Easley is fouled. Going to the hoop. So she'll shoot a couple. Easily has scored 6 off the bench. Coming from Phoenix, Arizona. Went to school in Hawaii before transferring to Eastern Washington. So you wonder if she's used to these inland northwest weathers.
Well, even going from Hawaii is a different type of heat. Dry to jungle, kind of humid. And, but at least she's got to see snow in the inland northwest, so she can add that to her resume.
And she knocks down second one. So Eastern's trying to put a little pressure on the basketball here. King to Pierce, and Pierce from the wing. You betcha.
Well, you got to do the full court press just to try to see if you can cause some turnovers, but that's what you see happens to you is when you're full court press and they break it easily, you get a Pierce and a friend setting out around the three-point line and draining them.
It's now a 20-point game in favor of the Vandals, and the foul will be called against Kaylin Francis. Nothing going right for Eastern Washington here in this second quarter.
Well, if you watch the Eagles' offense, again, the post is flashing when the ball gets moved from side to side. They work really hard in there, but that time a little too hard, a little probably too anxious to get that position.
Markson now out to King. 3-point. And it's tracked down by Kirscher. Approaching a minute to go here in the first half. Idaho leads at 41-21. Easily pulls up mid-range, rattles it home.
Great high screen. Easily just needed that little bit of space that the screen caused and drains the points for him.
And there's too easy there for Haddon.
Well, again, the ball getting pushed up the floor against the pressure. Eagles not getting back quick enough after the ball gets by them. Easy basket.
Kirscher now mid-range jumper from the elbow. The Eastern Washington heating up here late in the first half after struggling for much of this second quarter from the field. King will try for 3, misses, and they have a chance to hold for the final possession. And Ferenz will set things back up. It's down to 6 seconds. Ferenz has it on the wing, down to 1 second. She has to put it up, and no good off the glass there. Not exactly what Coach Newley wanted, but he can't be too upset with his effort from the Vandals here in half number 1. They stays in the game as Capri Morrow will continue to get a rest.
Yeah, she was out there for 14 minutes, and did very well, 8 points, but I'm telling you, she would rather have her in the fourth quarter than in the start of the second half.
And what the second half it is, Alyssa Sealby knocks down to 3 and makes it a 15-point game. The main difference in that half was probably the three-point shooting. Eastern only made versus Idaho 6. So we'll see if that can kind of swing here to help the Eags close the gap. As Easley drives, nice feed inside. DePriest can't make as Ferenz brings it back the other way.
Yeah, great setup by Easley, drawing the defense over. DePriest just not getting the ball to fall for her.
Clinker out to Pierce from the wing. Oh, you leave her alone, she'll make it. Taylor Pierce with her fourth three-pointer of the evening.
Yeah, again, the dribble penetration gets the whole defense to collapse, and that leaves Pierce just sitting out there by herself. And a nice pass out to her.
And a travel called against Sealby there before she faced up. And
yeah,
get another look there at the Taylor.
Yeah, Clinker again. Hey, big offensive rebounder for him. Is in the paint. French gets her a little drop pass from her and then gets it right to the shooter out there. And a high percentage shot coming from Pierce.
So the Vandals back up by 18. And they're going to call a foul on Sealby. So not the best of back-to-back possessions for Sealby, the Wenatchee native. A nice play by Kersher to get into the passing lane, and the foul drawn. They're going to get Ferenz there trying to stop the layup attempt. But nice effort there from Grace Kersher.
Yeah, Kersher getting her hand in the passing lane, read it perfectly, and then pushed the ball and got fouled in transition. But they got to make these free throws.
Yeah, that's a problem when you're down by 18. When you get the freebies, you hope that you can at least cash in on those ones as she splits the pair.
Yeah, and I don't like the Eagles are staying up, and but they actually changed it from a little bit of a zone press they used in the first half where they were getting beat pretty consistently by the Vandals. This time they're going man-to-man and then trying to drop back with the Vandals.
Ferenz now will drive. Markson thought about it, but drives off the glass. Can't get it to go. The rim not friendly there, but it was fresh shot clock.
Clinker running from the baseline to grab that loose ball.
And Ferenz misses from 3 as they will get Lizzie Clinker, or rather Chase Milne. On the foul there is Natalie Clinker gets a breather. And Easley will bring it over. But you got to wonder when Wendy Schuler will go to Violet Capri tomorrow. The offense hasn't struggled too much here in this second half, rather, but maybe you can give them an extra boost, an extra jolt there to have Morrow and Easley on the floor.
Well, the only thing is that Morrow went to the bench in the second quarter and then went through halftime, and the longer you keep her out, players lose rhythm in the game.
Haddon loves that 8 to 10 foot jump shot there as she connects on another.
That one, she actually had a look at the basket. The other ones have been on the baseline, so that time in the right place.
Kersher back out to Easley there. Shot clock down to 10. Easley will drive. Nice find from Easley to DePriest. He used to create here for Easter.
She is, and I liked all the stop and go motion that was going on. And that time she actually came up with the defense over to her and drops it down for an easy basket.
Markson tees it up from distance. No good. And they'll reset. Reese left alone there at the top of the key. 3-point attempt put up by Sealby. Kind of a stagnant possession there from Eastern Washington. Pierce, though, from the corner, misses. Hadn't tried to put it back up. Easily trashed with it.
Yeah, you don't want to give the Vandals opportunity after misses.
And the shot made by
Easily doing a great job for the Eagles getting the start in the second half. Coming up with some couple of assists, good defensive rebounding.
And they're going to call a foul. Now it's going to go against Kersher. And once again, puzzled looks from the Eastern Washington side as back comes Violet Capri-Morrow and Uriah Howard.
Well, we'll see if Mo can get it going after all that lengthy time, including the halftime.
And Ferenz, she keeps there with the lane off the glass.
Yeah, when I was looking at the stat sheet for Ferenz, I was thinking, you know, she's just a perimeter kind of a player, but not at all. She's got it all. She can put her head down and dribble hard to the rim. Or at home, obviously the Eagles are ahead 8-7 in the 18 at halftime. It's got to change. You got to get stops and baskets if you want to get yourself back in this game.
Yeah. Got a shot at the Eastern Washington men's squad there. They'll be taking on the Idaho men in our nightcap of this Big Sky Hoops doubleheader. And the entry fee one, and it's taken away by Pierce. But you mentioned the 8 points that the Eagles already have. They scored 8 all second quarter, and only 2.5 minutes in here, or rather 4.5 minutes in, they have 8 here in the third. Goes to show the kind of offensive production they've had here to start this half.
Well, you'd expect it coming out of halftime, the coach having the opportunity to make some changes and say, hey, we got to do this better. Throw out that second quarter because that's where the Vandal advantage of the Eagles miscues, and they didn't let down. I mean, they took the hammer hard to them.
Taylor Pierce taking advantage of some space. Pierce up to 20 points here in the ball game. And it's back to a 20-point lead. Capri-Morrow goes baseline, drops it off to Cravens. Can't roll. Idaho with it the other way. Pierce drives. And we will take another break. I believe Pierce will have some free throws, but here she takes advantage of some free space and tickles the twine. Vandals by 20 here on SWX. Third. Eastern Washington is, every time they've been able to cut it to 15 or 14, Idaho's responded with a couple baskets of their own.
And that's the luxury of having a lead. You don't have to force yourself into making, bad decisions or things like what the Eagles are going through. When you're down, you kind of force yourself to do more than you should, and it ends up costing you.
And Pierce knocks down the first free throw. Talked about Ferenz, what she's able to do from the line. Pierce is good. She's an 88.9% free throw shooter, and she showed it there, cashing in on 2 easy ones. Making it a 22-point Vandal lead. And a tough hill for Eastern Washington to climb. And the foul will be called against Lizzie Klinker, down low.
Yeah, Lizzie Klinker drawing the inevitable job of trying to stop Murrow, and that time just played a little too aggressive. Murrow's cut on the baseline and Wandler.
Cravens now with the shot fake. Easily goes baseline back to Cravens. Cravens, though, didn't want to pull the shot there, though. And now Capri-Morrow will try to create something. And they're going to get her for a travel call there. But I want to highlight Cravens there. The hesitation seemed to throw off the rhythm of Eastern Washington.
Yeah, I think they were giving her plenty of space because of the drive by Easley. And I agree with you. I think Cravens, that was no more than a 10-footer. You got to pull the trigger.
Haddon, she's had no problem pulling the trigger. This time goes to the post move for the bucket.
Yeah, normally on 2 dribbles on the post, you usually have defensive help coming back on you, but that time Hayden quick with the move off of the 2 dribbles and then drops right to the rim. See, no one's coming to help. Normally you get help, and a good left hand by Hayden. I'm telling you, having herself a ball game offensively right now.
She's up to 12 points coming off the bench.
Bet you Joe Vandal might be taking her out tonight.
The shot put up and good by Lizzie Klinker.
The friendly row, the soft rims. Took a couple of high bounces and drops in for Klinker.
Markson pokes it away, comes up with the steal. Look at the effort from Gina Markman guard. Stealing an extra possession for Idaho. Now uses the pick and roll.
Yeah,
Now will drive.
Well, I was just going to add, Markson's done a lot for him in that respect. The intangible things that don't get put in the stat sheet or the box score are diving on the floor for loose balls or knocking the ball out of the defense or offensive hands, and she's done that tonight.
Now Pierce will rattle home the first free throw. Puts up to 23 points.
I got to tell you, too, the toughest games of the year, they always say February were wall or, I think it's during break where students are gone and there's not a lot of activity in here, normal, like it is when the students are here. They bring a lot to the game in college, and, yeah, kind of empty right now, and it's due to the fact that they're still on break, Christmas break.
Free Morrow now will drive. And she is fouled. And that's going to be called against Michaela Ferenz. And that's her second personal.
Yeah, nobody's really in foul trouble except for Murrow. I mean, Shelby's picked up a couple in the second half here, but yeah, playing pretty solid defense around.
And Clayman will inbound from the Capri Morrow from the mid-range, and she gets the bucket to go.
That always makes the coach happy, too, when you look up at the scoreboard and say, yeah, we're way down, but you get a play executed like they did, bounce, and the possession coming to a good one at the end of that.
A nice feed from Clayman. Cravens misses. But we'll stay down on this end. 2:36 to go here in the third. Easley will come in for Capri Morrow. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. And she misses jumper right there.
But another good look by the Eagles executing on the out of bounds underneath. Easily just not able to get it to fall.
Jones handling the ball. Kershaw playing good defense out there on the perimeter. Shot clock down to 10. Ferenz looking for an opening. And she does a good issue of drawing the foul right there with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Ferenz, we talked about filling up the stat sheet. She's flirting with a triple-double in this one. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists with still a quarter to go.
Well, when you're Big Sky player, you get all those accolades going, you're going to draw a lot of attention from the team coming in against you. So tonight, she's doing it. She's helping her team right now in other aspects, and team in scoring like she does night in and night out.
And rare miss at the free throw line.
That hurts a 92%er.
The 92% free throw shooter. I'm sure that's probably going to be what she's going to lose sleep over tonight. Is how did I miss that free throw there late in the third?
Yeah, you think about that all night when you're a player that a lot of success at the line. You think about the ones you miss.
Fresh shot clock for the Eagles. First race taken away by Jones. Nobody in front, and she lays it up and in.
Yep, turn it up. Usually get yourself a transition basket, an easy basket at that.
Easily being guarded by Markson. Easily. Nobody home there on that one, and the foul will be called, I believe, against Caleb Francis. So I believe Markson will shoot a pair from the line as you get a look at the steal from Jones. We haven't seen too many turnovers turn into instant offense, but a nice job there by Jones to step in front of the passing lane. Markson knocks down the first free throw. That makes it a 30-point game. I'm sure Coach Newley is pleased with how his team has come out here after a successful road trip with wins over Idaho State and Weber State. And now it's always a fun day when you can beat your rival.
Yeah, you can go with a 30-point lead down the bench and play some folks that haven't gotten a lot of minutes. And actually, Ferenz and Taylor played most of the first half.
Yeah, they haven't rested much.
Nope.
They're getting some breathers now. But up until this point, they didn't get much rest as they were able to kind of control this game and build this lead. 3 Vandals in double figures with Pierce, Ferenz, and Haddon. As Clayman misses on the front of the iron. Clayman with some of the Australian flavor of this Eastern Washington program for both the men and the women.
Yeah, it's on both the men's and women's, and it's been pretty consistent over the last 10 or 12 years.
Markson drives. A nice offense there from the Vandals. Still able to corral it there, but good dribble penetration to set that up.
Yeah, and that baseline is a dangerous place for the defense because you all turn your heads and watch the basketball, but that time the Eagles were able to deflect and come up with the out of bounds for them.
Clayman goes baseline. She is fouled. They're going to get that one on King. So Clayman now will go to the line. And she knocks down the first one. I'm sure Eastern Washington will enjoy a nice little layoff until Monday as they play Northern Colorado in their first home game in the conference. The shot clock is down to, the shot clock's turned off actually as Shantae Leggins came by to say hello to us. They're doing the free throws. We'll see his team taking on Idaho. But here we're game clock down to 10. Markson controlling it at the top. It's down to 3. He's taking it in. I believe the foul is going to be called on King, who prevented a go-away bucket there.
Yeah, and if you're the Idaho coaches, you're thinking like, well, we got a big lead. We can have a few turnovers like that. But no, situational basketball, that was at the end of the quarter. You want them to learn how to execute and not look at the scoreboard and see that you got that big lead, because you might have to execute later on in the season down the conference road. You want to make sure you can get that last shot if you have possession of the basketball.
Clayman knocks down the free throw. 26-point game as the ball will go out of bounds back over to the Eagles with 0.5 seconds. So it's going to be a quick bucket here, quick
look at
attempt.
It at least. Yep, you got to get it up quick.
Oh. Easily gets it, and I'm not sure she got that one off. But a nice look there as that does it for the third quarter. popcorn ready because, hey, it's the start of the fourth quarter, but there's a lot more basketball on tap here tonight. John Newley and his Idaho Vandals look like they're well on their way to a third victory in Big Sky play and a sixth victory overall as they lead at 66-40. And Isabel Haddon continues her exceptional play here in this one. 7 of 9 from the field, now with 14 points.
Yeah, first half it was all on the baseline. Second half it's been up above or between the free throw line and the baseline. So showing some real nice fundamental mechanics on her shot, though. Just a great follow through, and then obviously her height gives her a little more of a look-see at the basket.
And tall, standing at 6'4". She can definitely bother shots on the defensive end and comes up with rebounds on the offensive side of things. Ball will go back over to Idaho. You look at Haley Christopher there. Jones now. Fouls called against Kirscher. That might go back to one of those. They're not allowing contact above the free throw line there. Cause
a little bit of a mismatch, too. You got a taller Kirscher going against a smaller Jones. Jones using her quickness to get by the defense.
Jones thought she had a teammate roll. Morrow comes up with the steal. Howard, the corner, no good. Here comes Jones, passes it ahead to Milne, misses them. Chase Milne looking for her first points of the evening.
Yeah, in the old days, the coaches would have out saying, hey, use the backboard on those shots, but hey, so give her a break, I guess.
Yeah, a little cold, so they're going to warm up here a little bit. Christopher comes up with the steal. Pass ahead to Jones, who's in a little bit of trouble there. Bring the ball up.
And that's what you want your defense to do for the Vandals on that previous possession. Howard goes on the baseline and defense drops back, gets into that passing lane instead of just turning and trying to go to the basketball. They were out far enough, but a little surprised Coach Schuler's pulling Morrow out. I mean, at this point, the three doesn't really matter, but maybe you want to save her also for later on in the year.
Yeah, it's a marathon this college basketball season as Jones lays it off the glass and in. Yeah, that might be one of those wave the white flag kind of substitutions. We'll see if Coach Schuler empties her bench, trailing this one by 30.
Yeah, and both teams really, coaches, I'm sure, are just wanting to stay with everything that you've worked. Go outside just because of what the score is. Up ahead, you normally have players that aren't usually out there at this point, and I think the most of the time, though, you just want your team to execute on both ends of the floor.
Shot put up by King, and that's off the mark. Long road ahead here in this Big Sky schedule. We're in January, but we feel like we have a lot of basketball still left to be played between now and heading down to the conference tournament.
Yeah, and the biggest difference in Big Sky basketball compared to the other leagues is, yes, it is a long road and a long haul. The further, I mean, you go from Portland State all the way down to northern Arizona, Montana, so yeah. Big Sky covers a lot of area.
A lot of travel here. As Milne steps into it, no. The bench is egging her on to hit one of those shots. Easily stops and pops. Gets that one to fall.
She's having a nice game. She's been kind of forced into outside of her role, but she's really stepped up and had some nice assists. There's Haddon.
I tell you, Haddon is fire here this evening. 8 of 10 from the floor.
Yeah, and all of them have just been really good looks at the basket. getting in the right place to catch the basketball, have your feet ready. She's done all of that tonight.
A nice backdoor cut there by the Vandals. Will kind of slow the tempo down a little bit. Oh, what a wonderful pass inside to Christopher of Juliet Jones.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Schuler, you're saying, hey, come on, to guard the ball a little bit better, but that was off of the bounce with one hand on the baseline and a good cut. That's just knowing your teammate.
Howard, man, gets it back, though, misses again. Rebound Haddon. She's pulled down 6. At timeout, and with that, we will take a break here. Our score here in this ball forward, try to jumpstart this offense that has been averaging only about 54 a game here so far in this season.
Well, I mean, that's the best thing is these games, you have more practices than you have games during the week, so you'll look at the tape and you'll see that some of the execution on the offensive end was not where she probably wanted it, just because they upped the pressure a little bit, shouldn't force you out of your offense. So I think that's probably the thing that they'll work on, just kind of having a little bit more.
The shot from Janie King, no good. Capri Morrow back in the game, so Schuler now waving the white flag as Clayman tees up from distance and connects.
Yeah, and again, I like the offensive set, just having the free reign to go flash from both sides of the. And that time, drew the defense and left Clayman wide open.
Capri Morrow is fouled by Christopher.
Well under her average, Femi. I mean, she's got 10 points. She averages 17, but she just has never really gotten into a rhythm, I think, all game long due to those fouls.
She knocks down that free throw there. Makes it a game.
And I don't know if there's a lot of moral victories, but when you're down by 30 at one point in the game, picking up now and you're only down 17, yeah. I mean, there are moral victories in college basketball, but coaches won't never admit it.
They hate to admit that they exist, but they do exist. So shout out to the coaches. We see you.
Yeah.
Haley Christopher from the corner to there. And back comes easily.
Will be interesting to see if they cut it down to 10 if we're in Pierce.
Go back in.
Yep, and Prince back in the ball game, but no real look of concern right now.
Steal from the Eagles there. Capri Morrow lays it up and in, and well, she's chasing down that average there, Craig.
She just got it.
She heard you talking.
Yep, she just got it, and yeah, just the Vandals getting a little loose on the defensive end, and the turnovers, like you mentioned, that Idaho scored on a lot. Wow.
And Seelby knocks down the 3, and it's a 15-point game here with 3:48 to go. Who knows whether it's too little, too late, Craig? Attention to the score. Focus in, and as you see him, he's going back to his game players. He's going back to them. Taylor Pierce, Michaela Ferenc back on the floor.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how they respond, because they've been setting, a little bit. If they can just come off the bench and start, cold to hot like they have been, but a lot of times, coaches, they don't like having their bench play a lot of minutes and losing leads.
And the no foul call down there, so Eastern with a chance to cut into the lead even more. Capri Morrow is fouled by Ferenc. So a 13-0 run here, 3:20 to go in the ball game. And Natalie Klinker will re-enter the game here for Nina Carlson. So they got the shooters, they got the rebounding. Idaho is definitely starting to wake up here just a little bit. Clayman inside to DePriest. Layup is good. Now a 13-point game.
And it's been done before. Teams have come back. I've been on a team at Eastern that we came back on a 17-point deficit down at Northern Arizona, so don't think it can't be done.
Jones out to Markson. Back to Jones in the corner. She goes baseline. Klinker down low. Shot clock down to 7. Pierce pulls it, and she drains it. The confident Taylor Pierce, the senior guard. She's got 27. And that might have been the dagger there to send Idaho into the victor's column.
Yeah, and that's exactly who you want taking that shot is Pierce or Ferenz. But I tell you what, the Eagles definitely have something to talk about. Yeah, now you got Ferenz going to the rim. I like their back cut action. I think the defense, standing with their heels on the ground. But look at this. This is just good rhythm, good rotation.
As you see, Michaela Ferenz going backdoor, courtesy Gina Markson, plus the foul, a chance for the three-point play. There are 14 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists for the Big Sky Player of the Week. They averaged 27 and 5 on that road trip, and trying to help the Vandals put the finishing touches. Third conference win here early in this season. Primora wanted it down low. Said they'll swing it around to claim it, and she'll try the other side. They get it to her. And with a timeout called, a quick 30-second timeout is when
either, because they haven't been in that. And then all of a sudden you make a few turnovers and you capitalize, which that's exactly what you want to do if you're Coach Schuler, is see your team capitalize on those turnovers. And then you chip away at it, and then you make him come back with your starters. So, yeah, I think it's been a good bit of run for the Eagles being down by so many.
And claiming their basket gets that one to go. Markson will use the screen there, switched on to Primoro. Primoro with some fantastic defense there. Hersher ahead.
Played with her feet, not her hands.
Now she'll drive and go to the line. Ferenz is baffled there at the call.
Yeah, I think when you're a player and you feel straight up and thought that you were in your cylinder is what the officials call it, that the offensive player is actually coming into you. But most of the time, you're always going to get called no matter if your hands are straight up or.
It's 1:24 to go here in this one. We're 3 points away from free Wendy's fries.
I thought you were going to mention that.
For the home fans.
Yes.
So pay attention to this. If Eastern Washington keeps fouling and Idaho makes those free throws.
You just don't want to put a 92 and an 88% free throw shooter up there.
You don't want to put them on the line. At least I'm sure Wendy's is maybe hoping, hey, don't put them on the line.
Tacos and free other stuff, but never free fries.
There's the sign right there, free fries. If the Vandals score 83, 3 points away, so the suspense.
It's killing me.
It really is. It's almost like we're 18th hole, 18th green at Augusta.
Yep.
And Markson, so we're on 81 here.
She might be employed by Wendy's to miss. Yeah.
They might send her some free fries, maybe. Morrow there. Markson with the ball. And Klinker wanted it ahead. Ferenz gets a hold of it. You wonder if the suspense will start to build here. Kersher for three. Got it. 13-point game here with 54 seconds to go. And the fans hoping to get some fries here. 50 seconds to go. Under 50 seconds. Shot clock down to 20. You gotta believe that this is the last possession for the Vandals here in this one. If they're gonna get it done, probably no better player to have the ball in her hands than Taylor Pierce. Pierce, 5 seconds. Pierce the three! And they got some fries here at Cowan Spectrum. Oh, you gotta love it. Might have been the loudest cheer of the night, Craig.
It definitely is. I'm telling you, they did not cheer when they got up by 30, but 3 fries at 83.
Oh, we're all going to Wendy's after the game. Who's joining us? And that will do it, as they'll likely dribble this one out. The Idaho Vandals with an impressive victory here in their home conference debut. Defeat the rival Eastern Washington Eagles 84-68. A nice 30 burger from Taylor Pierce to go along with some free fries there, Craig.